What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Sports. I am your host, Trevor. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Today is a Warriors Wednesday, but before I get into the Warriors Wednesday talk, I just want to say I have another guest coming on the show next week. I don't have a day nailed down yet, but we have the most amazing Damon Bruce coming on my podcast next week. The guy is an absolute legend for me. Out of all the sports talk hosts out there, he's one of the most influential in my life. I will have to say I've been listening to him for quite some time, and I am super pumped to actually get him on my podcast and talk either Warriors or Niners. We're not quite sure yet. I'm kind of thinking we're going to talk Niners football because I would love to pick his brain about the Niners. He's a huge football fan, and so it could go either way. I haven't nailed down a time yet. It's either going to be Wednesday or Thursday, hopefully next week, but we'll have him on next week, and it is going to be absolutely freaking amazing. I love the guy, and he's the reason I started actually getting into doing a podcast and believing that sports podcast was something that I could achieve and be successful at. And I'm moving in the right direction. So awesome to see Damon Bruce on my show next week. Just look out for when those days will be, guys, or what day that's going to be on, guys, and I will let you know. So let's get into the Warriors talk a little bit. The Warriors haven't played since Monday, so there's not a lot of talk there, but I just want to bring out a couple of topics here. Number one, the Minnesota Timberwolves are right on the Warriors' heels, and I don't think the sixth spot is going to be a given, but I do think the Warriors are playing good enough basketball right now that they will, I think, take the sixth spot. Minnesota Timberwolves play Denver tonight, and if we get any help from Denver at all, that will give us some breathing room, because right now the Warriors are only half a game up on Minnesota, and the wins just keep coming back to back, and every time the Warriors win one, it seems like Minnesota's right there winning as well. So the pressure's on. It's going to be a dead heat to the end of this season and into the playoffs. The Warriors are 37-28, right? So, I mean, there's roughly 19 games left in the season, guys. There's not a lot of time left. It's going to be a dead heat. Now, the one thing I will say right now is we should get some breathing room if Minnesota loses to Denver tonight, because the Warriors play the Kings tomorrow, and the Kings are vastly depleted and not playing real good basketball after the fallout of a lot of the players they lost at the trade deadline. So I do feel like that is a very winnable game for the Warriors, and so does, I guess, ESPN, because they're giving them a 75% chance to win. And guys, the Warriors are playing lights out basketball. They're pretty much playing as good as any team in the league right now. You can put them up there with Oklahoma City or Cleveland if you want. I do, because, I mean, the way the Warriors are playing right now, they're playing scrappy. They're making their shots more than not, especially coming off the bench. Curry is re-energized. Draymond Green's re-energized with the addition of Jimmy Butler. And I will be the first to say I did not know or think that Jimmy Butler was going to make this big of an impact for the Golden State Warriors. Did I think he was come in and turn things around? Yeah, I kind of thought that he would do that. Did I think it was going to be to this impact? Not at all. Not at all, guys. So it is a pleasant surprise to see the Warriors turning around and looking like a team that can actually go out there and vie for a finals and a championship. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition, but we know one thing. When the Warriors get into the playoffs, Curry, Kerr, Draymond, Butler, they're different beasts. They're very hard to beat, especially in a 7-game series. That's why I'm saying getting that 6th seed is a very dangerous place for the rest of the league to have the Warriors end up in. Because if the Warriors end up in a play-in game, they rarely win those play-in games. I don't know why, but in a one-game take-it-or-leave-it series, not even a series, just a one-game playoff, they never really come through and win that game. I'm not really sure why, but that's been the case. If they get in the 7th spot, they'll get 2 opportunities. And when you have Jimmy Butler there and you're playing that good of basketball, I think they get into the playoffs anyway. But I would much rather see the Warriors get the 6th seed, and I think everybody else would too. And the way they're playing right now, I think it is totally possible. I'm looking at the Warriors right now and their schedule, and it gets a little tougher, right? Their schedule is favorable, but it's not completely, an easy track all the way to the playoffs. If we take a look here, let me take a look here. Let's see. Do I have it? I don't have the schedule here. Let's take a look at the Warriors' schedule. I'll bring it up, and we'll talk about who they got left. So, full schedule. Let's take a look. All right, guys, we're getting down to it. We got Sacramento on Thursday. Then Saturday, we got the Knicks. Now, the Warriors played hard against the Knicks in New York. Now it's going to be back in San Francisco playing against the Warriors. I think that's a very winnable game as well, but the New York Knicks are a very good team, as you all know. So I don't think that that's going to be any kind of a pushover. But if we can win against Sacramento, we get the win against New York, then we got Denver, right? And Denver's a tough one. And so, again, we got Denver and Milwaukee. Those are going to be two tough games, and they're back-to-back, which means we might drop one of those. Even if we drop both of those, we're in a good spot because the next game is Toronto, Atlanta, then Miami. We can beat those teams. I think we have a very good chance of winning those games. New Orleans, we have a good chance. San Antonio, we have a very good chance of winning. And then we have Memphis, which I think we have a good chance of winning. So if you look at that, the way that's laid out, right, that looks like the next 6 or 7 games, 8 games, right, maybe 10 games, actually, are looking favorable for the Warriors. They might drop 2 of those. Now, let's go and take a look at Minnesota's path to the playoffs because they have, I don't know what their schedule is going to look like, but I doubt it's as favorable as the Warriors. So let's go here. They have Denver. They have Orlando. That's a tough team. Utah is not very good. Indiana is okay. New Orleans twice is Indiana. Phoenix is kind of laying down and dying. Detroit is playing very good basketball. They have Denver, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Memphis, Brooklyn, Utah. I take it back. Minnesota's got a pretty favorable schedule all the way to the end, guys. So this is going to be a nail-biter all the way to the end unless Minnesota just starts dropping games for whatever reason. So I guess this Warrior talk today is just to say that whether we get the 6 or 7 spot, I believe Warriors are in the playoffs. It's just a matter of winning an extra game or 2. But it seems as though that either way, the Warriors are positioned to make a good push in the playoffs, and I think the rest of the league should be on notice if they aren't already. The Warriors are looking absolutely fantastic. I'm enjoying watching this. Very exciting to watch these guys play the way they're playing. And like I said, I think they're playing like the best team in the league right now. I really do. It's hard to say that they're playing better than Cleveland or that they're a better team than Cleveland right now, but they are. There's a conversation there to be had, and they might meet each other, is all I'm saying. They might just meet each other. Wouldn't that be crazy if it was another Warriors-Cavs finals? That would be insane. But the Warriors got to get past a couple of teams. The Lakers, although they don't scare me that much, they are a team the Warriors have trouble with. So I would rather not see the Lakers in the playoffs, especially with Luka, but it might come down to that. It most likely will come down to that. But we'll see what happens there. Either way, we have another bit of news, right? Jonathan Kuminga will finally be back tomorrow in a Warrior uniform playing with the Kings. Now, I've said this when I've been on 95.7 The Game. I've said this here. Jonathan Kuminga is a great role player, and that's what he's going to be now that Jimmy Butler is here. He will be able to take on that role-playing position instead of a primary taking on my back and put the team on my back and go for it kind of a position, right? So that will give him a little bit less stress, a little bit less anxiety. I think he's going to play a little bit more free, and I think that he's going to complement the Warriors. I don't know if he's going to be in the starting lineup. I doubt Steve Kerr is going to change anything the way the Warriors are playing right now. So I expect Kuminga to come off the bench, but that just strengthened the bench up quite a bit if you think about who's coming off the bench, right? When you got Pajemski, you got Kuminga now coming off the bench with him. Guys, and Moody's in the starting lineup right now, and Moody is playing like just, a hungry dog off the leash. So I don't know that I would take Moody out of the starting lineup. The more minutes he gets, the better he seems to be playing. I said a while ago I thought Moody would be one of the big keys to whether or not this Warriors team goes deep in the playoffs. If he can come around and start peaking at the right time, then that is going to be a huge boost for the Warriors. Buddy Hield, again, is still kind of lying in the weeds, although last game, Buddy Hield went off, and I think he had 30 points. So, he really did have a game. Buddy Hield had a game. So, Is that going to continue throughout the rest of the season? Probably not, because he is not consistent in the way he plays, but I like what I see. And now, guys, where there was a point in time where the Warriors were like, is anybody going to step up and play, have a good night next to Steph Curry? Is anybody? Now it's, who is the next up tonight? So instead of wondering if anybody's going to do it, now it's like, okay, who is going to have a good night tonight? But we know somebody's going to have a good night, or a couple people are going to have a good night. Maybe somebody will have an off night, but a lot of guys are going to start having good nights, night in and night out. That's what's happening when you see players like Moses Moody in the lineup, Buddy Hield coming around. It's not every night, but they're both contributing and playing good basketball. Jimmy Butler is just drawing attention. Curry is getting more looks. Draymond Green is playing with energy. I mean, this team is ready to roll into the playoffs, guys. They are peaking at the right time, and it is exciting. I don't even know. I'm going to go crazy if they win a championship this year. If Curry gets number 5 this year, it is on to even maybe get a 6th, because this is the beginning of a Warrior team that could go on another run the way they're constructed right now. And better believe it, in the offseason, they're going to retool a little bit as well. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to do massive changes, but they're going to pick up a guy or two. And I guarantee you next year, they're going to be an even better team than they are right now, which is scary for the rest of the league and exciting for me. So I cannot wait to see these guys continue to play. They play tomorrow, Warriors Wednesday. Guys, thank you for listening. Remember, again, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Damon Bruce will be on talking either football or basketball, and we haven't figured out what day yet, and that will determine what we talk about. But either way, it will be fun talking to Damon Bruce, so be here for that. I will give you guys an update in the next few days, hopefully, as soon as I get the particulars on when he will be available. But it's going to be fun to talk with him. And, hey, guys, just remember, hard work beats talent when talent don't work. And, hey, Warriors got talent. They're playing hard, and nothing really beats that. So let's wait till tomorrow and see what they do. And until then, I'll see you in the next one.